Hi, welcome to my video on the ARTOFUL L03s 3-in-1 selfie stick tripod. And as you can see, it comes in this black box with a picture of the selfie stick on there on the front, and on the sides it tells you that it has a fill light, a tripod, durable and wireless remote. On the back it just has a line diagram showing you the fill light, also the adapter for your action camera, and the tripod itself along with the remote. Now this selfie stick tripod consists of stainless steel and plastic. It has a weight of 165 grams. Its fold down length is 7.7 inches. Its fully extended length is 40.5 inches. It uses a CR1632 battery, and also it's rechargeable. Now in the box you get the selfie stick itself, you get an adapter for your action camera, you get a micro USB cable, you get a spare CR1632 battery. How the actual selfie stick looks like from ARTOFUL. I'm just going to call it Art from now on, just from Art. It folds down within itself, and it has a foldable length of 7.7 inches. Start from the top and work down to the bottom. At the top of the selfie stick we have a built-in light. Now this light is capable of, it has 6 settings on there. 2 of the settings are for a warm light, so it'll give you a warm light and an even brighter warm light. When you press the button on the side there again, it will give you a white light, and it will give you 2 settings for the white light. You have a real bright white light and a slightly dimmer white light, and when you press the button again you get what they call a neutral light or natural light, which has a bluish kind of tint to it, and you'll get that 2 settings for that, which is a bright one and then a lesser bright one. So all in all you have 6 settings for this top light. The light is made of plastic and it's an LED that's in there, and it also charges via the micro USB cable which is supplied. It doesn't state in the manual how long it takes to charge the light, but I have done a little experiment and it takes roughly 1 hour 60 minutes to charge this light to full capacity. Now when the light does goes down, it claims it will show a red light. Now I didn't get that. I got the red light when it was charging, and when it's fully charged the red light with inside here comes off. I'll quickly go through the light settings and see if the camera will pick it up properly. So we'll press it once and it's straight away it's on the white light. Go again, the next white light up, so it gets brighter. Then I think it goes into the warm light, a brighter warm light, then the natural light, and then a brighter natural light. And then to switch it off, it's simply a 3-second press and that switches it off. Now the clamp is a spring-loaded phone clamp which has a bit of a squeak in the spring, but the clamp folds down and folds out, and we have a rubber section at the top here and a rubber section at the bottom here, but nothing on the back. Now this holds your phone either initially in a landscape position, but you can rotate it to get a portrait position, and it does rotate round just before 360 degrees. It claims it does 360 degrees, but it does stop, and that's due to the back part of the light. This clamp has an all plastic construction with a simple logo of a camera on there. Now it doesn't state what that camera logo is for in the manual, so my guess is if you have your phone and the main phone camera is looking out to away from you and you want to take a selfie using the main camera, if you focus your eyes on the camera picture on the back, will give you the impression that you're looking into the lens. So my guess that's what that is for. Phone clamp sits on this plastic arm here, and the plastic arm on the back has the words Artful written on there, and on the inside of the arm we have this kind of mesh or square pattern in there to give this arm strength. Now the arm does come down to this GoPro style mount with a, well, GoPro style teeth mount here, which has a thumb screw in there. Now this is a proprietary thumb screw. You cannot put a standard GoPro thumb screw within there when you're changing from having your phone to a action camera. It doesn't seem to fit, it won't fit in there. And it comes down to this actual stem here. And the stem itself is a traditional old-fashioned car aerial type stem. It's not one of them ones that you pull out and then you have to twist lock in each section. It's just a traditional aerial style, car aerial style type stem, which friction keeps it into place. It is made out of stainless steel, and it does have, which is hard to pick up, but it does have a seam running down each section. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sections on this particular selfie stick. Then we come down to the actual main body of the selfie stick, and we have a remote, which is absolutely hard, folks, to get out. But we have this small remote here, which uses the CR1632 battery. So bear that in mind, that this uses the battery, and the light here uses the USB, micro USB cable to charge it. And then we come down to the handle itself, which acts as the legs, and it's a plain handle with just these 3 rings that go around the bottom of the handle that's etched into the legs or the handle. Now the handle is smooth plastic, which the legs are, or handle, are connected to this metal ring around the top of the actual legs. Now when we open out the legs clip into place by these locks on there, which is good. It keeps, so when you close up the legs, they snap into place like so. As I stated to you before, the actual clamp or phone mount up here does go into a portrait. Now bear it in mind, folks, this is an iPhone mini that's on there, so if you have a bigger phone, and which this clamp can take up to your largest phones, bear it in mind when you're going to go from a landscape to a portrait position, you might have to shift the phone up, because obviously the length of the phone will change and it will knock this bottom. But as you can see, it can go into a landscape mode if you wanted to. This is how the selfie stick looks when it's actually fully outstretched, even though I've put a little bend on the end. Now it states on the box, and I told you earlier on, that it's 40 inches, but when I've measured this myself, with the mount outstretched to the bottom of the selfie stick where the handle is, I get 35 inches. So they've seemed to have added on 5 inches from somewhere, and I do not know where they've added on. Now, you know, in my videos, I always state that I don't really go by the entire total length, because you lose inches off the top where the phone mount is, and you lose inches off the bottom where the handle stroke legs are. So I normally go by the top of the handle and the bottom of the mount, and between these 2 points, this extends out to, the actual stem extends out to, is 25 inches. Now for the wobble test. Now bear it in mind, I've got an iPhone 12 mini on the top, so it's not exactly is a big phone. So I'm going to do the shake and see what happens. And I have to say, the stem does hold up. It is, as I stated before, a car aerial type stem, but it's not a thin car aerial type stem, if you know what I mean. It's quite thick. Even the last section up here, I would say, is normally probably the third section of some car aerial type stem selfie sticks. So it's quite thick up the top. Now I am getting a bit of wobble, just a little bit of wobble, and it's due to the actual mount at the top here. Because the mount, it uses this kind of arm, it does create a bit of a wobble, but it didn't give the feeling that it wanted to snap off. So that's the main thing. Setting up the remote is easy. You do get a battery inside this remote when you buy it. Also, you get a spare one. But setting it up is quite easy. You simply press on the remote here for 3 seconds. Next to the actual button here, you'll see a blue LED that will come on. You put your phone, whether it's a iPhone or a Android phone. If it's an Android phone, obviously go into the Bluetooth and make your phone discoverable. Otherwise, your phone will not see the remote to pair. iPhone users don't have to do that, just go straight into your Bluetooth. Once you've pressed the button on here, you'll start to see that the LED will flash blue. The words will come up, ARTOFUL, L03s will come up. You simply click on that word. Your phone will then want to pair with it. There is no codes to place in there whatsoever. You just simply press pair, and the remote will pair to your remote. The remote will pair to the phone, and that's it. See, if the remote shutter button that you get with this selfie stick, does it mute the shutter button noise? So I'm going to press it. It's on photo. This phone is on photo at the moment, and I'm going to press it and see if we can hear a noise. And it doesn't mute the sound of when you're taking a picture with the shutter button. Now we're going to put it into video, and I'm going to press the button again, and the same again, you could hear that. So I'm going to stop the video, and it doesn't mute the sound, so that's good. If you want to use the action camera on here, such like a GoPro, you simply have to remove this particular screw thread here, or thumb screw here, and it's just a simple turn. And that comes apart. And now we've got the actual teeth here to mount a GoPro. Now you can mount the GoPro straight to this, and this is how it looks when you mount a GoPro straight onto the actual teeth. Now the only negative thing I have to say when you're mounting an action camera, whether it's the GoPro or even the Insta-1R with its frame cage, or any other action camera with a GoPro style frame cage, is be aware of the thumb screw here, because since it's a proprietary thumb screw and it's quite small, it does butt up against the bottom of the GoPro, which makes it a bit of a fiddly to turn. This is the action camera adapter that you get with the selfie stick. It consists of the GoPro style teeth connected to a 1/4 inch screw thread, which you get a rotating platform here to level up to the bottom of your action camera. Now, some action cameras don't come with a GoPro style teeth at all. They come with a 1/4 inch screw thread. So this is the adapter that you use. And to show you, because this GoPro that I've got has teeth and a 1/4 inch screw thread, you simply screw the GoPro onto, or your action camera onto that thread, and simply level up the platform to it's nice and tight, and that's how you got your action camera with this adapter. Now I'm going to get asked this particular question: does the remote that comes with the selfie stick, does it operate any action cameras? Now, it does not connect to the GoPro, does not connect to it whatsoever. The GoPro does not recognize it, doesn't connect. And the same with the Insta-1R, it doesn't recognize the remote. The remote uses Bluetooth 4.0, but I guess that it's not because it uses 4.0 why these do not recognize these action cameras. I think it's just a remote which only the phones can recognize, mobile phones can recognize, and not these action cameras. Now, this is how the ART selfie stick looks when it's fully extended out. This as a caution. To me, this is not an outdoor selfie stick tripod when it's placed in this position. To me, it's more of an indoor selfie stick tripod, because even on my B-roll, and it might be easy to see on the B-roll, might be difficult to see, but there was a slight breeze. It's winter in the UK at the moment, and there was a slight breeze, and this thing swayed. It did sway, it did have some movement, and that's just using an iPhone 12 mini. Now, if you've got a bigger phone than that, obviously it's going to sway more, or may even want to tip over. So bear this in mind if you're going to use a bigger phone and you want to take shots using the tripod legs in this position. I suggest you bring it down halfway when you're going to take shots. Now, as for using an action camera in this full length and without this mount at the top, you'd be okay, because an action camera has a bit more weight than a phone, and it's obviously a much smaller surface for the wind to catch, so you'll be all right with that. Now, just quickly about the feet at the bottom, I do like how the feet spread out, and it does seem to have they seem to spread out more parallel to the ground, if you know what I mean. It's got not a very high stance to it, a very low stance to it, but the feet need to be longer because its actual footprint is very narrow with this particular selfie stick tripod. I do like how the stem can come down in the middle to give it a fourth leg or more of a support in the center, which I do like. Now, this is the part of the video where I do my 2p worth on the ARTOFUL L03s selfie stick tripod, and I'll start off with the negatives first. Now, the first negative has to be about using this with its legs out to take photographs when the stem is fully extended. This to me is not really an outdoor selfie stick for that, because even with an iPhone 12 mini, in the slightest of breeze, this thing was swaying. So if you have a larger phone than the iPhone 12 mini, the chances are, and you have the stem fully extended, there is a possibility that it will get blown over, and depending on what surface you're taking a picture on, it may damage the screen of your phone. It's going to land flat on your phone. So to me, this is more of an indoor type selfie stick. Now, another negative has to be with the handle. It is too smooth. Now, it does state it's a non-slip handle. That's all right if you're in the winter and autumn, or you don't suffer from sweaty palms. But if you've got a sweaty palm, or you take this spring and summer and you take this on holiday, depending on what conditions that you're going, this will feel like a bar of soap. A next negative has to be with the actual stem. Even though it is one of the thickest car aerial type stems I've come across, not the thickest, but one of the thickest, because it uses a car aerial type stem, it relies purely on friction, and because it relies on friction, the constant retracting and then putting it back down again, eventually the friction will give way. Another negative has to be with the remote itself. Now, replacing the battery in the remote is really fiddly to replace the battery. You have to bear it in mind that once you pull apart, it's easy to pull apart this remote. There is a tab at the bottom, which is very difficult to pick up, but there's a tab down here that you pull to take the two sections of this remote apart. Now, when you do that, this plastic button here will fall out and you have to replace that back in there. So depending where you are doing to replace the battery, be cautious, because if you lose this button, that's it. You don't get a spare button. And the very last negative has to be with the mount here. Not so much the GoPro style mount, that's okay and that's great. And I do like how they give you this thumb screw to make your adjustment, and it's just not a plain old screw there. That's also great. What it is this is a proprietary screw. So once you lose this screw, that is it. You can't put a normal GoPro style thumb screw in there. It is not the same size. And now for the positives. Now, the first positive has to be with the price. Now, on Amazon UK, this is $12.99. And when I last looked, there is a deal to even drop it even lower than $12.99. I think it's a 5% off deal as well. Another positive, even though I had a bit of gripes with this and I put it in the negative, this is a well-built selfie stick tripod. I have to give it that. The plastics do feel good. It's just a pity that they didn't put a pattern on the actual legs of this thing, which doubles up as the handle. And this arm could have dealt with it being a bit more thicker, but despite all that, it is still a well-built selfie stick tripod. The thing I do like with this is the built-in light in the clamp with the button at the side here, which gives you these 6 levels of light. And as I stated before, you have 2 for warm light, 2 for white light, and 2 for natural light. So I do like how they give you that. As I stated, it does charge by the micro USB cable, which fits in the top here, and it takes roughly about an hour to charge. Another thing I do like is how they give you this GoPro style mounting system here for action cameras. I like how they provide that. At least they provided you with the mounting system here, which is quite good. So if you don't want to use your phone, you can attach a GoPro style camera. Last positive has to be about the remote. Now, I did place it also in the negative, and that is only for when you're going to change the battery, that you have to be aware of the button there. But this remote is about 1.5 inches long. It's nice and small, which I do like. It's not a big remote. It does have on the back a way of placing a lanyard, which is going to be quite difficult to see, but you can place a lanyard on this remote as well. And as for the actual distance this remote works with your phone, it does work 33 feet from your phone or 10 meters away from your phone. This is my overall conclusion of the ARTOFUL L03s. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for a selfie stick to take on your nights out, especially to a nightclub or a restaurant, this is a very good selfie stick to take because those places are low lit and this has a built-in light in there. It is perfect for taking selfies with your front-facing camera because this will just light you up. If you're going on holiday, this almost enters the leave it and forget it section. Because of its price and now it's been reduced, it brings it into the leave it and forget it. So if you forget it on holiday, you're not really breaking the bank. Thanks for watching the video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. I perfectly understand my videos can be long, but I like to go into detail on the item or the product, so when you get it, you know what to expect. Please subscribe to my channel if you like the channel. I'll be grateful for that. And I'll see you next time.